Well, good evening once again. Day 211 of the Biden administration, which is racing to put out the firestorm ignited by the debacle of the withdrawal from Afghanistan. Tonight, the president told ABC News that the military mission to get Americans out of the country, Taliban permitting, could extend past August 31st.
All troops are supposed to be out by August 31st. Even if Americans and our Afghan allies are still trying to get out, they're going to leave?
We're going to do everything in our power to get all Americans out and our allies out.
Does that mean troops will stay beyond August 31st if necessary?
It depends on where we are and whether we can ramp these numbers up to 5,000 to 7,000 a day coming out. If that's the case, they'll all be out.
So Americans should understand that troops might have to be there beyond August 31st.
No, Americans should understand that we're going to try to get it done before August 31st.
But if we don't, the troops will stay.
If we don't, we'll determine at the time who's left.
And
if there are if there's American citizens left, we're going to stay till we get them all out.
Situation on the ground in Afghanistan remained tense as the Taliban now dig in and assert control over that country. Our veteran chief foreign correspondent Richard Engel is in Kabul again for us tonight.
The U.S.-led evacuation today is finally moving quickly and smoothly from the military side of Kabul airport. Planes arriving and departing around the clock. It's a far cry from the Bedlam Monday, when thousands of Afghans broke into the airport so desperate to escape the Taliban, they clung onto departing aircraft. Now, more American troops have been brought in for security. Today, we watch troops get ready for a patrol. They're relaxed. U.S. forces may be doing this for several more days or even weeks. As U.S. officials say, up to 15,000 Americans remain in Afghanistan, along with tens of thousands of Afghans who may be eligible for asylum. This afternoon, we saw hundreds of Afghans being processed, waiting to start new but still uncertain lives.
While this base is now much more orderly, much more secure, the biggest problem is getting here.
Because outside the perimeter, the Taliban are in control. The U.S. military asked them to keep back the crowds, but the Taliban are doing it their way. Firing in the air, sometimes beating Afghans who try to approach. In Jalalabad, Afghans demonstrated carrying the tri-colored Afghan flag, saying it represents them, not the Taliban flag. Witnesses say the Taliban opened fire, killing at least 3 demonstrators. Overnight, Afghanistan's new presumptive leader arrived in the country, moving through the Taliban's stronghold city of Kandahar. He's Mullah Abdelghani Baradar. He was deputy leader of the Taliban when it hosted and protected Osama bin Laden while he plotted 9/11. Former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo signed a peace deal with him under President Trump, a deal President Biden implemented, rapidly pulling out American troops, triggering the rapid collapse of the Afghan army and the Taliban's rapid takeover. Richard Engel, NBC News, Kabul.
Now, meanwhile, President Biden, in that interview with ABC News tonight, continues to defend his handling of the withdrawal from Afghanistan, arguing there was no way to pull out without risking turmoil.
So you don't think this could have been handled, this actually could have been handled better in any way? No mistakes?
No, I don't think it could have been handled in a way that we're going to go back in hindsight and look, but the idea that somehow there's a way to have gotten out without chaos ensuing, I don't know how that happens. I don't know how that happened.
So for you, that was always priced into the decision?
Yes.
Earlier today, Secretary of Defense, retired General Lloyd Austin, and Joint Chiefs of Staff Chairman General Mark Milley, 2 men who know from Afghanistan, also defended our drawdown strategy. General Milley said this about U.S. intelligence leading up to the collapse of Afghanistan.
The intelligence clearly indicated multiple scenarios were possible. One of those was an outright Taliban takeover following a rapid collapse of the Afghan security forces and the government. Another was a civil war, and a third was a negotiated settlement. However, the time frame of a rapid collapse That was widely estimated and ranged from weeks to months and even years following our departure. There was nothing that I or anyone else saw that indicated a collapse of this Army and this government in 11 days.
Now, congressional leaders are asking the White House for a briefing for the so-called Gang of Eight, the top leadership, and some are already planning investigations of what went down here and why. General